Welcome to day 3 of my 10-day bike trip series exploring the shores of Lake Huron and Lake Simcoe in Ontario, Canada. In this segment I'll be starting on Beausoleil Island and taking a water taxi back to Honey Harbour, where I'll ride my bike along the shoreline of Georgian Bay to Awenda Provincial Park. So today is Sunday, July 22nd, 2018, and it's been raining since around 2 a.m. this morning. When I woke up at 7 it was still raining, so I got up and went for a short walk to investigate the weather. I decided to sleep a bit longer hoping the rain would stop, but eventually I just started packing and had everything packed up by 9 a.m. My return water taxi won't be coming to pick me up until 10, so I decided to do a bit more exploration of Beausoleil Island on my bike. I dropped my panniers off in a dry spot at the park's gatehouse, then found my way to the Christian Trail, which leads over to Christian Beach on the west side of the island. The rain is still lightly falling and the wet soil is making it even harder for the smooth threaded tires of my recumbent bike to maintain traction. I apologize for the water spots on the camera lens. On a rainy day like today it's nearly impossible to keep my camera dry. Over at Christian Beach there are a few rental cabins and a nice sandy beach. One of the reasons I wanted to come over here this morning is because the part of the mainland that you can see, which is directly across from here, is where I'll be biking past later this afternoon. Although this shoreline is currently only about 2 kilometers away from me, the route I'll be taking to get there will be around 65 kilometers. So after that I rode back to the main dock at Cedar Spring and caught my water taxi back to Honey Harbour. When I got out from under the tree canopy and out onto the lake, I could tell that the rain was really falling very heavily now. Unfortunately, the camera I've been using seems to have partially stopped working, so I'm filming these clips using my smartphone. My phone claims to be IP68 certified, so it should have no issue being used in the rain. The boat's using the same route it used yesterday, heading north from Cedar Spring and passing through the Narrows between Little Beausoleil Island and Roberts Island. After my 15-minute $68 water taxi ride, I arrived back at Honey Harbour at 10:15. The rain is falling very heavily now, so I'm glad to have a reliable raincoat. So from here I followed Honey Harbour Road heading southwest towards Port Severn. This initial part of my route is just backtracking the last segment of my ride from yesterday. This here on the right is called Maurice Bay. Unfortunately, the weather forecast predicts that it's supposed to rain for most of the day. Now here I'm passing back underneath Highway 400. And now I'm back in Port Severn, crossing over the Port Severn swing bridge, passing Lock 45 of the Trent Severn waterway. I'm glad I took the time to stop and watch the lock operate yesterday, because with all this rain falling it wouldn't be much fun to stop today. I turned right and headed southeast along Port Severn Road. Now I'm passing back over top of Highway 400. This highway runs all the way from Toronto to Parry Sound. I'm now entering the Township of Tay, which is part of Simcoe County. For a short distance I rode along the west service road next to the highway, but then made a right turn onto Forest Harbour Parkway. The temperature right now is about 17 degrees Celsius, which is quite a bit colder than yesterday. The rain is still falling very steadily and it's really not very much fun riding in the rain, but thankfully today is one of the shorter distances I had planned for this trip. This narrow bridge is taking me across the inlet of Georgian Bay into Matchedash Bay. Further into this bay is the mouth of the North River, which is a river I crossed over yesterday. I've now entered the community of Waubaushene and I'm joining the Tay Shoreline Trail. In my video from yesterday I mentioned the Aurelia to Coldwater Rail Trail, of which this is the extension of it, which goes from here to Midland. The beautiful thing about this section is that it's nicely paved, making it very well suited for my recumbent bike. This first segment along here is nice because there are parts of the shoreline which are peeking through the trees every now and again. There's also a long section which runs through a marsh. The time is now around noon and I'm not planning on stopping for lunch until I get to Midland, so I decided to snack on an apple while I was riding. Rail trails like this are great in the sense that they're completely car-free, but eventually I find that the scenery starts to get really repetitive, with mostly just thick trees on either side for the majority of the time. As I was riding I noticed that the touchscreen on my smartphone started to become less responsive, which at first I thought was just due to the fact that it had so much water covering it. But eventually I started to notice that one of the edges of the screen was significantly brighter than the other side, and I could no longer press the touch button to start recording. This community I'm passing through here is called Victoria Harbour, but after filming this clip unfortunately my smartphone became non-functional, so I'm not able to capture any more footage of the rail trail. But I did capture a few clips with my spare camera as I was entering into the town of Midland. These buildings here are part of the ADM grain mill on Midland's waterfront. From here I proceeded up the hill along Midland's King Street to explore their historic downtown. Midland was first settled in 1871 as the terminus of the Midland Railway. The time is now around 1:15 and I decided to stop for lunch at a place called Uncle Roy's Restaurant. With a name like that, you really wouldn't expect most of the choices on the menu to be Chinese foods. I ordered the #1 combo, which is sweet and sour pork, shrimp, chop suey, and rice. A few doors down at the Valu-mart grocery store, I stocked up on a few items before continuing my ride. The rain is still falling heavily, and since I'm down to just one working camera, I'm going to use it very sparingly. After continuing north along the waterfront trail, I joined this trail through the woods, which took me up a steep hill towards Penetanguishene. Unfortunately, due to some road construction, I didn't get to ride through Penetangushene's historic downtown. On a section of this waterfront trail, there is an enormous flock of Canadian geese blocking the trail, and I had to wait patiently for them to clear before I could pass. The route I planned for today follows the shoreline from Penetanguishene to Awenda, which isn't the most direct route. Since it's so rainy and miserable out today, I briefly considered abandoning my route in favor of a shortcut, but I ultimately concluded that I would later regret it if I missed this part of the journey. After leaving Penetanguishene, I entered the township of Tiny. The road I'm following here is called Champlain Road. This building here seems to have partially burned down. The road is relatively quiet on this rainy Sunday afternoon. I'm now right around where this red star is, and peeking through the trees I can see the shoreline of Christian Beach on Beausoleil Island, where I stood roughly 7 hours ago. All of the property along this shoreline seems to be privately owned, so on most of this road the water is out of sight. As I'm continuing to make my way along this shoreline, the rain is finally starting to let up. I've only got about another 9 kilometers to go until I reach my destination. Since there aren't any restaurants near where I'll be camping, tonight will be another night where I'll eat my dinner at my campsite. This sign here confirms my assumption that the fire ban is still in effect, so it's a good thing I came prepared for eating an uncooked dinner. Here I'm turning left from Champlain Road onto Kettle Beach Road and entering into Awenda Provincial Park. Although the rain may have mostly stopped, the trees are so thick here that they're continuing to drip water, making it feel like it's still lightly raining. This forest seems to be mostly deciduous trees. I followed the signs to the gatehouse and purchased a camping permit for tonight. The campsite I chose is in an area of the park known as the Snake Campground. Unfortunately, tonight I broke with tradition and decided not to go for a swim in the lake. With all the rain that fell, I already feel like I've been swimming all day. Right away I got to work setting up my tent so I would have a dry place to unpack my gear. For dinner I had a garden salad and a tiny $1 blueberry tart for dessert. After dinner I had a quick shower and performed a successful repair on my main camera. I also did my best to try to dry out my smartphone, but the screen still doesn't seem to be working properly. So today I rode my bike a total of 94 kilometers, despite the fact that my campsites are only 12 kilometers apart. Stay tuned for the next installment in this video series, where tomorrow I'll continue following the shoreline of Georgian Bay to Craiglee Provincial Park, passing through the towns of Wasaga Beach and Collingwood. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you thought, and thanks for watching.